Germany.
Thank you very much for sharing that insight. You will stay with us for our next story. A preliminary U.S. intelligence report says American airstrikes set back but did not destroy Iran's nuclear program, despite President Trump's claims of complete obliteration. The classified assessment says key underground sites remain intact, enriched uranium stocks are safe, and Iran's nuclear timeline is delayed by just months, not years. Trump dismissed the report as flat out wrong and praised U.S. pilots for what he called a perfectly executed mission. The White House accused leakers of trying to undermine the president and U.S. credibility. On the other hand, IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi warned inspections in Iran are disrupted and conditions are unsafe, with sites containing rubble and possibly unexploded ordnance. He says Iran has taken protective measures with enriched uranium, but inspection access remains limited, raising serious concerns over transparency and monitoring. He urges renewed dialogue with Tehran, possibly in Vienna, saying the knowledge and industrial capacity to build a bomb already exists and cannot be denied. All while Kremlin says UN nuclear watchdog's reputation has suffered seriously due to US and Israeli attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities. Meanwhile, the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Iran appears to be holding after nearly 2 weeks of escalating airstrikes. Israel says its campaign removed two existential threats: Iran's nuclear capabilities and its missile arsenal. Here's what Efi Defrin, Israeli army spokesman, had to say.
לומר ראשית שאנחנו עמדנו בכל יעדי המבצע כפי שהוגדרו לנו, ואפילו בצורה טובה יותר ממה שחשבנו, באופן מיטבי. אני אומר את זה בצניעות, כי עדיין מוקדם לקבוע את הדברים, אנחנו חוקרים ובודקים את התוצאות של הפגיעות שלנו בכל המערכת, הפאזל הזה כפי שקראתי לו בעבר, המרכיבים השונים של תוכנית הגרעין ועוד. שהערכה היא שפגענו משמעותית בתוכנית הגרעין, ואני יכול לומר גם שהשגנו אותה למשך שנים, אני חוזר, למשך שנים לאחור. כוחות הגדוד מבצעים התקפות על יעדי טרור, מאתרים ומשמידים פירים ומנהרות ומחסלים מחבלים. אתמול אחר הצהריים, במהלך פעילות מבצעית, הוצמד מטען על רכב משוריין מסוג פומה של כוחות החטיבה. כתוצאה מכך, הרכב המשוריין עלה באש. נשלחו כוחות חילוץ ומסוקים לנקודה, הם ביצעו ניסיונות לחלץ את הלוחמים, אך ללא הצלחה.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Netanyahu declared a historic victory but added Israel's campaign is not over yet. Iranian President Pezeshkian called the ceasefire a great victory for his country and signaled readiness for renewed dialogue with the US and regional players. Trump's envoy confirmed promising indirect talks with Iran are underway, aimed at a long-term peace deal. At the UN, European nations urged Iran to return to nuclear talks or face renewed sanctions. Iran's airspace remains closed till Wednesday, but civilian restrictions have been lifted across Israel. Whether this truce leads to diplomacy or just a pause in conflict remains uncertain. Now we have guests joining us for this discussion. Ross Feingold, he's a political analyst joining us live from Taipei. Thank you, Ross, for staying with us. According to you, how damaging is the gap between President Trump's public claims of complete obliteration and then U.S. intelligence assessment showing only a limited delay? And what risk does the White House run by dismissing internal intelligence findings?
This is one early, very preliminary finding by one agency. We have to keep in mind that there's numerous intelligence agencies that have yet to release their own analysis and findings about the damage to Iran's nuclear weapons program. So it's still early days. It's not a surprise that President Trump was angry about this report being leaked and the doubt that it cast on the damage that was done by the U.S. bombing and earlier by the Israeli bombing. So I think the best we could do at the moment is just wait and see. But there's a very important thing to keep in mind. If subsequent analysis indicates that Iran still has the ability to research and develop nuclear weapons, that's going to be the end of the ceasefire, and we might see more military action from Israel and/or the United States.
And last but not least, looking back at what has happened in the past 13 days, does this whole episode strengthen or weaken the U.S.'s power or U.S.'s dominance and effect towards maybe regions like Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, which had great relationship for a while with Trump?
Some of the Gulf countries were critical of Israel's attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. They publicly didn't praise the U.S. Bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities. But the reality is the Gulf Cooperation Council countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, they appreciate the role that the United States plays in Middle East security. And even though those countries might maintain good relations with Russia and China, as of now, they still look to the United States to be the security guarantor in the region and their closest security partner. So the truth is those countries are probably very happy that the United States got involved, even if they might not say so publicly.
Thank you very much, Ross Feingold.